Welcome everybody to Light Beyond the Clouds. Hi, Jen. It's actually
Hey.
beautiful out, and I know we're kind of winding up this season, and then we're going to have a lot of really, fun and exciting stuff for next year with people coming on and talking about real life stories as we end this season.
Yes.
But today, I really, I talked about it, and one of the biggest things I know I've had a lot of it this week are signs and dreams. So I'm going to go ahead and just, start in. I had mentioned to you about what had happened with my father because people always, that ask us about this. It's about signs and dreams. Are they real? Like these little gentle nudges. I always say the angels are never loud. So they'll come in and show us things where it's like, why do I keep feeling like I should do this? Why do I keep feeling like, even when our mind is saying, no, 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 then it's just like, no, I should do this. So I was in the car the other day and it was happened to be my anniversary. And I was really missing my father. I had talked about that and I was just missing him. I know he's there, but you just get that overwhelming, like, but it was really him coming to me and saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm gonna show you why I'm here." So I was listening to my yacht rock because I like yacht rock and and I was listening to a song I really liked, and it was a nice day, and I was kinda just really kinda bopping around to it, and I kept just hearing, "Turn the station, turn the station, turn the station," and I thought, so, even though I have this gift, we all have times where we get caught up in our own mind where it's like, I like this song, but no, I need to do this. So I paid attention. We have the option to pay attention or not. Oh my gosh, I changed the station. There was a song that, through the years from Kenny Rogers that I danced to my father with at my wedding. And it's his just way of saying, yeah, that was me. I am sitting right here. And I think for anybody that goes through this or wonders, we have free will. So we could have just chosen, I could have just said, nope, I'm staying with this one song. But my heart and mind always just like, wait a second, there's more to this. After the second time, and that we talk about this, there's more to this. So for people that are going through that, they're going to find a way, to gently nudge us to say, hey, listen, I'm trying to give you a message and I wanted you to know that I'm right here. And I think it's amazing. And I know you get the same experiences.
I do. And actually, today, as a matter of fact, I was talking to my sister earlier and, we
Okay.
were on a FaceTime call and we were just like looking, and I was looking at her and I thought, am I seeing things? And, like moved my glasses. I took them off. I kept looking and I kept seeing it. And I said, are you seeing that? She said, what? And I said, look at the screen. Can you see those spirits around you? And she's like, what? And I was like, I am telling you, I can see spirits flying around you. You have people with you. And she was like, she's trying to look too. She's like, well, I don't see them. And, and I know not everybody always sees that, but I was like, this is so cool that like I saw that. And then, I'm in the middle of moving. We talked about this. I'm in the middle of moving and the old house that I came to get it all cleaned up and everything, I like looked out of the corner of my eye and I could see more spirits. I was like, I tell my roommate, I said, hey, we have some spirits in the house. And she's like, wait, what? And I said, no, nothing bad. I said, there's just, people here. But like you said, I don't ever think they're loud. So people do have to pay attention. And I think people get more messages than they realize. They just don't know that it's a message.
That's what I really, truly like, even finishing up with that. That's what I want people to understand. We get them every day, whether you believe it or not. Some people are far along on the journey and they're very into this and they're very in tune. And some people are just kind of sticking their toe in the water and going, well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. Or they feel funny about actually saying that they believe in something that they can't always physically see. But I just think the sensation of feeling is so huge. If you would pay attention every single day when you ask a question or you want to go do something, if you would pay attention to what you feel or even just start to write it down sometimes and say, all of a sudden I felt this around this situation, just started keeping a little journal, you would realize how those aren't feelings, those are actually messages. That I'm so big on journaling. I journal and I write everything down because it's just how people, the validation when you send the notes, people will message me days and weeks and months later and say, oh my God, I was in that session and you told me this, what I mean? And then this happened, 6 weeks later, because sometimes it's not timing is hard with heaven because their energy. So I will see the messages, but sometimes timing, or we changed what we did. So that changed, moved the goalpost. I always say that it moved when it's going to happen. It's not that it's not going to, but you made different decisions, during the process. So it just changes when it happens. But the outcome, it's like getting lost, and your GPS takes you loop de loop and around different ways. You're still going to get there, but it's just a different journey. And that's what I want to say to people. And you're still going to get where you need to go. And I just think it's amazing if we open up It's not weird. It's not anything bad. I mean, this has been around and messages have been around. And even with dreams, you and I talk about dreams. I am a extremely vivid dreamer. I dream in movies. It's almost like short movies, and or even how they hear things like you and I having conversations, or I had a conversation with my mother, a few months back. And we were going to go to a jewelry store and get battery watches. And she's like, I know this little store. And I said, okay, I'll pick you up in the morning. And so that night when I went to sleep, her mother came to me. I've only met twice in my life, lived in California, we're in Maryland, didn't know her really. I was very young last time I saw her, but she came to me in a visitation and she was sticking this silver dollar like really close to my face in the dream. And she says, tell Jean to make a necklace out of her. It's 100 years old. And it's just incredible to me. So you wake up and it's so real and you're just like, oh my gosh, right? So I get to my mother's and then I'm talking and I was like, Mom, did you ever get a silver dollar from your mother? Because she was saying it's 100 years old and she wants you to make a necklace out of it. She walked down the hall, comes back, a few minutes later with this box and starts taking all of this stuff out of it. And I was like, what are you doing? And then she pulls out that silver dollar and I said, Mom, what is this? And she said, I forgot it was in there. She said, it's been in there for over 40 years. It's the only thing I ever got from my mother. And it was that silver dollar. She showed me in the dream. She got a magnifying, looked down at the date. And she said, it's exactly 100 years old. So when we went to the jewelry store, she put a bale and wears it as a necklace. But the thing is how they're always listening to our conversations. And that's really what I want to talk about. It's not so much that's all connected. But Jen, you know that how they're listening to us and want to guide us. They know what we're going through. And they're just saying, hey, I want to help you with this. Like, so when you go to sleep, a lot of times it's not, some of us can't turn our mind off long enough during the day. We get really busy. They can't get to us, but they'll come to us in our dreams.
Yeah.
So pay attention to your dreams also, because we know that, right? That they'll come to us and show us things while we're sleeping because we're quiet enough that they can reach us.
No, absolutely. And again, I know we've talked about the signs a couple of times, but I do think it's important just to keep reminding people. Like for me personally, I see a lot of cardinals and even blue jays. It's how I knew where my new place is at. Like my abuela, I was asking, like, is this the right spot? Is this the right spot? And, when we came to look at the place, two cardinals just chirping right away, like right outside of where the property is. And I'm like, yep, this is the right place. Like I just knew it because I asked the question and again, just out loud, or you even ask the question in your head. It doesn't necessarily have to be out loud. They can still hear you if you are thinking it. They can hear your thoughts. So don't be afraid to talk to them, ask the questions, but I just stress please pay attention because the responses sometimes are quiet. They're not going to be loud. There are those spirits that will like they have that big energy. So they're going to constantly kind of be nudging you. But most I feel are, they're quiet. So they're giving you the response, but it's a very like calm, quiet response. So you just have to pay attention to it. And if people even thought back about thinking about something, they probably would know, oh, I did get a message. Like you said, it's the GPS taking you around and around loop de loop. I've had days where I'm like, why did I turn this way? I knew where I was going, but I turned and I was like, why did I turn? And then, you look up later on, there was an accident the other way, or, your map will tell you there was an accident. So it was just like, to me, that is divine guidance. I turned this way because they wanted me to go that way instead of just following the map. So yeah, I think they're always helping us, especially when you do talk out loud to them.
And I think that's one of the most important things that, like, when I see clients and you see them and then you give them a message of something you just could not know, something to be so random to somebody else, like, saying you go to a pickle, fair, and they're either going to go, there's something wrong with you, what? Or they're going to go, yes. And, that happens. And they'll go, oh, yeah, I go every year to this pickle fair in Tennessee. And it's just, it might sound so simple to someone, but I always just say, if they can tell you that, what else do you think they're doing in your life? They
Yeah,
don't just pop in for 1 second and wanna do
absolutely.
that. It's a continuation. The soul lives on. You know what I mean? We talk about life after life, but there's life before life,
Yes,
right? There's so much. So to anybody that is in this process, and this is what we want people to understand, it doesn't matter where you're in the process. Don't compare your journey either to somebody else's. When
absolutely.
someone says like, I get all this information and I get this, then it makes people feel bad about themselves. Well, why doesn't it happen for me? Because people say, I don't get that. I want it. I want it. I've had people say, I want to do this. You are. It's just we're overlooking or you're making it more than, do you understand? They're very gentle and they're quiet. They show us things, attention to the feelings and the energy. So I don't want anybody, Jen, you and I, we talk about this, that's in this, it's never about comparing. We don't want you to be scared or to think because it didn't work right away. They're going to show you how you connect with them. They're going to find a way to connect with you that sense for you. It's going to be different for you than it is for me. It's going to be different for somebody else, right? Than it is for us. So don't ever get discouraged. Keep trying. It's like anything, right? The brain is a muscle. The more you get used to it, the more you relax. And when you relax, it's like anything. Then the door opens and then you can walk through. When I say to clients, if you come, just I always say to them, uncross your legs, take 3 deep breaths, breathe in, breathe out. I know you're nervous and you're excited. Just
Right.
and as soon as you do, it's like everything flows, the door opens, and it's like, here it comes. And I see them sit back and relax because we get so tense during the day and we want answers instantaneously. We think that we're all Instagram, right? And it's like, gimme, 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 more, more, more. But we have to allow the divine to do it in their way. They don't work on, what I mean, on our time. It's a little different energy over there. But you better believe, Jen, you know that we say this, you're getting a message, you're getting one.
Absolutely. And, I hope that, people, our listeners start paying attention to that and, write in,
Yeah.
tell us the signs that you see. If
Yeah.
you have something, I know you get feathers a lot and, let us know what is your sign? Like, what do you see all the time? Yeah.
So as we're gonna be finishing this season, we wanna next year, we just want this to touch people's heart, and if you haven't found us yet, you will. Some things, it's like a seed, you plant it, and we're just that seed that's getting planted, and we're taking care of it, and it's gonna grow because we want people to understand that it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. This is a place you can come to, and we wanna help and guide you and to let you know how loved you are and to stay focused, to stay with it, and
Yes.
we're gonna have more guests next year. We're looking forward to this. I know you're already reaching out to people and we're going to get things set up and maybe do a live because Jen handles everything. She's my go-to, does everything. And we're also friends and we're very connected spiritually. So it's really nice having you because you understand.
Yes.
So, but we're looking forward to the season.
Yes.
And I know we have one more episode,
Yes.
that we're going to close off with, but we're looking forward to this. Please, what I mean, just stick with us. We want to help guide you through this
Yes.
spiritual
Please.
journey.
Yes. All
All
right.
right. We look forward to
Good
next
week.
season. God
Yes.
bless everyone. Jen, have a beautiful week. I'll be
Thank
talking
you.
to
You
you.
too.
Bye.